Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I post new videos here on my channel pretty much every single weekday as of late. So today's video is going to be a budget video. I'm going to sit down today and reconcile my budget for the first paycheck in the month of July. So if you watched my first paycheck of July budget last week, I posted all of my budgeted totals for my bills and my expenses for the week of July. Now that it's the end of the week, we're going to sit down and look at the actual totals. So I have my budget by paycheck workbook here in front of me. This is what I use to budget every single week. And I also have my Erin Condren Deluxe monthly planner here off to the side, and this is where I keep track of all of my spending. So all of my bills get recorded here, all of my transactions essentially. So if I ate out, you will see it here in yellow. This is my little key here along the side. I don't know how well you guys can see. If I had bills, they are in this light blue. Any debt payments are in this dark pink. Grocery purchases are in this sort of peachy pink color. Gas is in this light lavendery color. Anything miscellaneous would be in green, and anything dark purple is my personal spending. So we're going to look at this. We're going to add up everything, enter that information in here, and see if I am under budget, over budget, or right on the money. So if you are interested in seeing that, just keep on watching. Alright, so we're going to start out with groceries. I budgeted $150 for groceries this week, and if you look here back at this planner, we are looking at the week of July 7th through the 13th. So anything that falls between those days is what we're tracking today. And if you look here, I only had one grocery purchase this week. On Tuesday the 7th, in this little peachy pink color, you see here that I spent $130.07 at Walmart. So because that's the only transaction, I don't need to do any math. It's pretty easy. I just can transfer that amount here, and we are under budget, which is phenomenal. So I get to use my black pen. I'm using the erasable pens from Parkoo here. I have a black pen for if I am under budget, and I have a red pen here for if I'm over budget. We're hopeful that we won't have to use this one, but we'll see. Alright, next up is household. I don't actually have a sticker for household here because I always just send this $30 right to my Amazon credit card to cover any purchases that I make on Amazon for household items. I have quite a few subscribe and save items. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark that. I did send $30 to that card, so that is perfect. Let me see if I can zoom you guys in a little bit. I don't want to zoom in too far. So next up we have Capital One. That was a minimum payment for a credit card. If you look here, that is considered a debt payment. So that is in this red color. And you can see here I've checked it off. I did pay $70 to Capital One. $70 actually isn't the minimum payment. That's higher than the minimum payment. This is sort of the minimum payment we started with when we started paying down debt, so we're sticking with that $70, and that was paid. So next up I have Disney Plus. That bill did come in and it was paid. You can see here I haven't checked it off yet, but it came in at $7. So that is under budget. I budgeted $10. And for Hulu, that bill came in as well. Sorry, you guys, about the fuzziness. It takes a minute for the camera to focus. And that bill came in at $11.99. And that, was paid as well. And that was also under budget. So I had very few bills and expenses this week that I didn't pull out in cash. So that was pretty quick and easy. I'm going to go ahead and add this up now. Let's see if I can up this brightness so you guys can see a little bit better. So we have 130.07 plus 30 plus 70 plus 7 plus 11.99, $249.06. We budgeted $275, so we are under budget there, which is phenomenal. Next up, we have my cash envelopes. So I'm actually going to pull my wallet in here. I have it here. This is a cash envelope wallet that I got from Amazon. I have been linking this wallet, but it seems like it's sold out right now. So I'm sorry if you cannot get your hands on this. It's a really nice, very affordable budget cash envelope wallet. But there are a ton of other options on Amazon, so I will link a few down below if you're interested in something like this. So the first category that we have here in my envelopes section is gasoline. I budgeted $50 for gasoline. You will see here on my little transaction calendar that there are no gasoline purchases. I did not have to fill up at all this week. So technically I didn't spend any gasoline money. And you can see here, if you look at my gas envelope, I still have that $50 in here. So technically I spent $0. This money is actually going to get transferred into my sinking funds accordion file. If you're not familiar with how I do gas, I budget $50 a week. If we spend less than that, then I put this money into a sinking fund for future gas purchases. And obviously if we need more than this, then I can then get into that sinking fund and pull money out as a kind of extra gas if we're making long drives or whatever. So in this accordion folder, behind a tab marked gasoline, I have a sinking fund where I keep our extra gas money. So it currently has $120 in it. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. And we're going to add 50 more today. Today's date is Monday, July 13th. So I'm filming this a little bit early. Technically, we still could spend money today, but I don't anticipate us spending any money. We usually don't on Mondays. And if we do, I will just pull it out of next week's budget. That's how I do things. It's very, very rare that we spend money on Mondays, ever. All right, so we're gonna add $50 today, and that's going to put our fund up to $170. I'm just going to add this money in here, and I'm gonna count it up really quick. 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 70. So that takes care of gasoline. And now because I put that money into my sinking fund, even though I didn't technically spend it on gas, it is considered spent. So I budgeted $50. The actual amount is $50. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So next up is miscellaneous. We budgeted $50 for any miscellaneous expenses. That was anything kind of outside of the budget. And again, you can see miscellaneous is this sort of green color, and we have had no miscellaneous transactions this week. It was a really, really good week. I stayed pretty good. So that should mean then that in my miscellaneous envelope, I still have $50. And I do, 20, 40, 50. So what am I gonna do with this money? Well, there's a few options. I could simply leave this in the miscellaneous envelope and roll it over into next week. I could deposit this into my bank and it could go towards our checking account cushion, our sort of buffer. My husband is paid weekly, but he's paid based on commission, so his paychecks are not consistent in terms of the amount. So I could use this to go towards next week's bills, or I could use this towards debt. And that is what I'm thinking about doing. For the most part, typically I would deposit this and it would be just become part of our rollover amount for our checking account cushion for next week. However, we have built our cushion up pretty well, and so I think I'm going to put this towards debt this week, which is very exciting. One of my goals for July is to pay more towards debt. So for now, I'm going to set this off to the side, and we'll kind of see how the rest of the budget looks. If I am over budget in a category, some of this money might go to cover that. But otherwise, I think I'm going to put this towards debt. So we're just going to set this aside for now. We'll come back to it at the end. So miscellaneous, I spent $0. All right, next up I have my spending money. So if we go back to my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner, you see my spending is in this sort of purple color. And I did have a few transactions. So I gave myself $40 for the week, and you can see here on Tuesday I spent $22.51. Maybe you can see, I don't know if I'm zoomed in enough. I spent $22.51, and then here on Saturday I spent $5. So that total is $27.51, and I spent $40. So that should mean that I have $12.49 left in my spending envelope. I keep my spending money in cash. Now, I don't typically keep change, so I definitely won't have $12.49. Let's see what I actually have here. Probably $11. So under spending, or probably $12, I mean. Let's just find out. I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $12 left in my spending money. And this, again, I could just roll over into next week in terms of spending. I could leave it in my spending money envelope. But I think maybe we're going to send this to debt. So I'm going to put this to the side with the other cash. And we're going to mark down here. I had 40, I have 12 left, so I spent $28. There was some change, as you guys saw, but that change actually went into my little savings jar. Anytime that I have change, I don't typically keep it to spend. I just put it right into a jar, and this jar has been collecting coins for quite a while. All right, next we have my husband's spending money. I handed him $60 at the beginning of the week. I don't ever expect him to give me back what is left over. He'll just roll over his spending money from week to week. So I'm just going to mark that as $60 spent. And lastly, we have eating out. We budgeted $50 for eating out. I'm going to pull my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner back in here. And I just knocked stuff off my table. Sorry, you guys. So eating out is in this yellow color, as you can see from my little key here. And we had one transaction in eating out this week. It was for pizza, and we spent $38. $50 minus 38 is 12, so I should have $12 left in our eating out envelope. So let's just double check that. 10, 11, 12. Perfect. All right, so we are under budget in all of our cash envelopes, which is exciting. This money is going to go off to the side with the rest of it, and we're going to add up these actual amounts. So 50 plus 28 plus 60 plus 38 is 176. So I was actually under budget in that category by $74, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and put my little cash envelope wallet back in my purse, and we're going to finish this out. So the rest of this goes super, super quick because it's all as budgeted. This side of my planner pretty much is always as budgeted. These expenses on the left are more variable expenses. These are more fixed. So in terms of my sinking funds, I put in exactly what I had planned. So $50 went to our campground savings, $25 went to car tags and maintenance, $25 went to Christmas, and $50 went into home insurance. For my debt snowball, I did pay $128 to the card we're currently working on, which is a Lowe's card. I had put a wood pellet smoker on our Lowe's card around Father's Day for my husband. So we paused the credit card we were currently working on at that time, which was a Capital One card, and we instead started directing our debt snowball money right to that Lowe's card to get it paid off immediately. And I only have like $38 left to pay before I can switch back to my Capital One card, which I think this cash here is going to pay that off. But let's continue with Savopoly. Was $40 as planned. So as you can see, we did not have to use the soul crushing red ink today, which is phenomenal. It means I was under budget in all of my categories, which is what I like to see. One of my goals for July is less spending in general, especially with the eating out and my spending money, which, as you saw, I was under in both of those categories. So that's great. So you saw here that I was, let's just do that math again because I don't remember, 250 minus 176. I was $74 under budget in envelopes. So I'm just going to jot that down here. And for my bills and expenses, 275 minus 249.06, I was $25.94 under. So if we add that together, 74 plus 25.94, I was $99.94 under budget this week, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do with this money is I'm going to round it up to 100. I'm going to pull 6 cents out of my little jar here. I'm going to deposit the cash that I have left over into the bank, and I'm going to make an extra debt payment of $100 this week, which is so exciting. That means that on top of my debt snowball of $128 this week, I'm going to put an extra $100 towards debt, which means that our extra debt total for this week is $228. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this every week. Like I said, my husband is paid based on commission, so it's just going to depend on what his paycheck looks like and what bills we have due that week. Obviously, if we were over budget in a category here, some of this money that I had left over in another category would go towards that and even out. But it's my goal to start paying more towards debt. And so this week, I'm very excited that all of this extra is going to go towards debt, an extra $100 debt payment. And this will entirely pay off my Lowe's card, which is exciting. And this will also go a little bit towards our Capital One card. We're going to move back into paying off Capital One this week, which is exciting. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know. You can leave me a comment and let me know, did you pay any any extra money to your debt or to your savings this week, I would love to hear from you, so leave that in a comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.